thought silly. But such is society today. Our generation has embraced the world of goods, and I doubt there's to be any going back. Those living in Williamsburg or some other city must imagine us in the backcountry to be very primitive. Here in Augusta County, it is several days' journey to any large city. Any imported goods we consume must reach us by crossing the Blue Ridge Mountains and trekking through miles of more or less wilderness. 'Tis a difficult journey, but it is indeed done, and these items in my mother-in-law's estate attest to it. Here she has a piece of flowered calico, an imported textile, a Delft plate, even 4 books, when many of our neighbors are proud to own no more than their one family Bible. But I was told that it was my mother-in-law's clothing you were particularly interested in. If you've come looking for silk and velvet, I fear you will be disappointed. We're not quite that worldly yet. But my mother-in-law certainly possessed a full wardrobe, and if you care for used clothing, I'll be glad to show it to you. Her clothing is laid here. I also have the advantage of being made of simple shapes. If you were to fold it out, it's roughly just a T-shaped garment sewn up to fit the body. Something like that, we might be able to reproduce on our own, without waiting for the next mantua maker to visit. I once met a man who thought that all women made all their own clothing for them and for all of their children. What nonsense. Just because we live here in the wilderness doesn't mean we're primitives. No one expects us to print our own books or cast our own spoons. These are professional trades. The construction and fitting of clothing is every bit as skilled as one of these. And in a place like Williamsburg, certainly, few would ever dream of cutting her own gown. I mean, if I asked you to sit down and make a pair of breeches like those you're wearing, would you know how? Shifts, aprons, even petticoats maybe. We could probably manage that. They're rectangles, they're squares, they're simple shapes. And they're the stitches that every child is taught. But a gown or a fitted garment is far beyond my ability. It's one big conglomerate. But the stories and the collection of stories of unique individual experiences. So I found in Elizabeth Armentrout's possessions, and especially in her clothing, a bridge between old and new material worlds, and a personal look at what historians now call the consumer revolution. Just like our lives today rarely fit theoretical boxes or follow prescribed rules, Elizabeth's life in what English people called the frontier, which also includes the area of Fort Henry where we are, was sort of a hybrid of commercial consumption and homemade manufacturing. It was shaped by larger societal forces, but was ultimately determined by her individual choices. So there are those who say that the frontier settlers were all mountain men, that they lived in virtual squalor, they made everything they used. But there are others who are trying to argue that even in the backcountry, the world of goods had come to stay. It's never really possible to settle this dispute absolutely. They both have elements of truth, they both have elements of exaggeration. But I can say that for one woman living on the frontier, reality proved to be a bit more complex of a picture, just like it does for all of us. I can say that Elizabeth Armentrout participated in a new world of luxury items, while at the same time holding on to older traditions, causing the two to blend into each other in a way that was complementary rather than antagonistic.
That's not good.